Hello, everybody. Sasseleigh Biggons here. Just thought I'd come on, say hey, and actually do what eBay has, not eBay, what YouTube has been suggesting, because they always have suggestions what videos you can make. For some reason, people seem to be clueless about cotton yarns. Don't know why. It's the same as any other fiber. You learn it. In the South, you learn a lot about it. Uh, it's used in t-shirts. So if you're a knitter, if you look at fabric way up close, this is not woven. This is knit. It's that same old stockinette, just on a microscopic level. Other things that people don't always understand about is that cotton's also used to make blue jeans, and blue jeans get softer as they age. So I know in many instances, it's very strong. It's a little bit rough somewhat until it starts to age, a lot like linen. The older it gets, the better it gets. And it doesn't get that weird fuzzy stuff like acrylic. It is plant based. They use a lot of chemicals to grow it because it really does strip a lot of nutrients out of the dirt. I wish there was a better way to grow it, or at least expand what other plant fibers we use as the human race. But at the same time, I wish we used wool more, because if you know how wool works, you don't have to sweat all summer or all year. You can still wear wool in your life and not die. Where cotton is per se, or plant-based fibers are the answer to, if you live in the South, you need something to breathe a lot, that's what you use. While up north, clearly, where knitting was a little bit more predominant throughout history, you have a lot more wool. You have, or even the mountainous regions where you have snow and cold, you have more llama. You have more goat hair for mohair. But just getting used to stuff like this. This is one of the thicker ones. It's only in recent history cotton has become thicker and people have started to use it more. This is a very limited batch that I cannot find more of from I Love This Cotton from Hobby Lobby, but I did it because of the color. I can't find that mix exactly anywhere else. I found something close, but it's acrylic. And if you don't know anything at all about fiber, acrylic is the same as if you were to knit or crochet with a yarn made from plastic credit cards. That doesn't breathe. It sweats like a tarp, like the kind you get in the camping section. That's why plant fibers are essential, I guess you could say, in this world, because you can't beat things that are natural. They help you, they don't hurt you. Uh, they're usually stronger. Like, even though cotton, like a pair of jeans, will age and fade and whatnot, it won't do it as fast. It'll last longer in general versus acrylic or polyester. It pills really bad. The fibers separate, and next thing you know, you got a hole in a sweater. And it only takes, what, a year or two, depending on the lack of quality, while jeans last 20 years if you take care of them and don't gain too much weight. Or even if, like, a lot of people, when they make those market bags, you bring home some pretty big melons in some of those. You bring home a lot of weight in those bags. And that's why you use cotton. Or more specifically, like, this is a spun cotton. It's probably about 6 thicker strings made into one string. While in the more recent offering from, I think it was Lion Brand, is the 24/7 cotton. I don't have the band with me, but right now this is making another project. This is like I-cord yarn. It's not quite sport weight, but it's not twisted. They like braided it kind of and made a rope out of it. And it's very strong, strong yarn. It's almost like thin rope. So it's very sturdy. I mean, if you need this to hold, like, those beautiful macrame plant hangers, this would do it. It might be thin, but it can hold it. It can hold weight like you wouldn't believe. It is more industrial strength, like a real rope, but it's soft like a t-shirt that's been aged a little bit. It's got this softness to it that rope will never have unless it's very, very worn. And one of the reasons I picked this is I find a lot of people don't know necessarily what kind of projects stronger fibers or yarns are made for, especially when it comes to clothing. Because so much of it is, oh, we're going to get cold. We want something that'll keep us warm. We'll pack a mohair angora. That's usually the go-to. That's why since I live in the South, it's like we need more Southern clothing and ideas, and I don't know why so few people are willing to, like, not even try and design for this fiber, which is basically what it is. They're not designing for the fiber. Now this just looks like a 10-inch garter stitch band, because it is, but this is the continuation of a design idea that I had. Because originally, I don't know where I put this. This is an off-shoulder top. Now this stretched a lot more than I thought it was going to. So I had to fold it over. I added some beautiful accessories. So now this whole thing is cotton, by the way. This one's also a very fluffy, more designer type cotton, where it goes thin, thick, thin, thick, thin, thick. And the original band, the blue, is in that same 24/7 cotton, because I need it strong enough to hold all of this, because I ain't no skinnian. But this part is where the side is actually buttoned up. So, and the holes were big enough down there. This is what they call uneven lace, where it starts off really small, where you alternate two needles, two different sizes. And by the end, I was like using 9s and 11s, so it's quite see-through. But up at the top, not so much. But yeah, this is part where your arm comes out and then it drapes like this. And this is how I use the stronger cottons to make a very breezy summer top. 100% cotton. I wish I could show. I wish I remember where I put the cone, because I had 2 more cones of this. I don't know what you want to call it. This yarn was made by Made in America yarns. It's cone yarn. They usually do a lot of yarns for like weavers, but look at that. You basically get to wear something that's covered in cotton balls, knit cotton ball, but it holds together, because the tighter the twist mixed with the puff balls, it'll last forever. It will age differently. It won't go bad faster, I guess is a way of describing it. And of course, the jewels on it are washer safe if I need them to be, so they won't discolor the creation. And my idea was to make another one, but with this one, try not to pull out the circular knitting needle. I need this one long enough to at least go up and over my head, around my shoulders, and then down, and then come so I can tie it in the front. Or have it go across my front, to the back, to the front again, and then I can knit just a big, like, leftover yarn skirt, because it'd be a wraparound skirt. So that's what I'm using. It doesn't look like much, but this is going to hold at least 3 or 4 pounds of yarn. It'll be thinner yarn, but still. 24/7 cotton with this, 10 stitch repeat is going to hold 3 or 4 pounds of yarn, and it will age gracefully, and I can trust it to not come undone. It won't hang and pull like acrylic. It won't make weird holes and stuff. So it's another thing to use for cotton, not just those wonderful crocheted market bags, which they're kind of basic. I mean, if you need basic, great, but you can do so much more with it. I don't know, maybe it's just me trying to prove that one of these years I will knit this style top because I love how open the arms are. I like how gathered the front is. I like how baby doll top it feels. And then to be able to knit that, this is the reason I still keep this shirt because I tried to find more of them. It came from some boutique in Australia. And then through Goodwill, I found it. So, knock on wood. Or even this, even though I have 3 of these, I only have one of them planned to make a headband or handkerchief out of it. Otherwise, I'm trying to find only special projects for the ones that I love, 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 love. If you're looking for cheaper cotton or you enjoy mixing colors and making tweeds, recycle a sweater. I have a video up that I did not that long ago where I ripped up basically a black and gray sweater. It's a stiffer man sweater. So men's clothing is not always super soft the way women's clothing is. But the reason I liked it, it was dark. It was slightly tweeted, so it had some nuance to it. And I want to use it as a background for granny squares. And when I make all these granny squares, it's going to be my connecting color, like the background color for all these granny squares. I do want to make like a summertime, what would you call it? Like a duster jacket style. But I mean, it will be a sweater, but it'll be long in the back and it'll just be good from outside, so I won't be completely burned. Just that light layer I need for, I can feel the wind, but, it won't make me sweat as bad and I won't get toasted if I'm wearing something revealing. Because in the South, if you're out in the sun or gardening, you need clothes that have ventilation designed into them. Do we not, ladies? Do we not need ventilation? Especially in summer, let alone in the South. I mean, I still laugh from the first summer I was down here. I mean, I knew what hot was up north, but down here, especially if someone doesn't have a car or whatever, you'll see their dollar store big old cup of ice walking down the road no matter where. Because it's just so hot, you can't go anywhere without water on you because the sweating is real. The make you believe in hell is real. Or actually, even the purple in my headband is pure cotton. Granted, it's a much more thicker, a very rope-like cotton thread. But when you do the chain stitch and crochet, it becomes stretchy. It has purpose. Do I care if it's super soft? No, it's on my head. Will I use it for socks? Only unless I'm reinforcing heels. Otherwise, no. But it's still good if I want to reinforce a cotton heel. Not wool, because those really don't mix well together because one shrinks, the other doesn't. But this is just understanding the chemical makeup of the fiber that you're dealing with. Or even if you go to dye cotton or over dye it, like you recycle a sweater, it's cotton. You don't care for the dingy color that it is, because normally, if you look at the stuff behind my head, super white is how cotton starts out because they bleach it. And then as time goes on, it just gets more yellowed and more ivoried, and we all know what aged white looks like, and that's what it ends up looking like, more like that one. That's just what it is. That's why cotton, if done correctly, responds well to light bleaching as the years go on, because you will have to do that. If anyone's washed like a vintage christening dress or a wedding dress, it's getting out the yellow, and that's what happens with it. But they last. Considering it's old enough to be washed at that point, that just proves how long lasting cotton really is. And some of these are very, very old, except for the big one. That one's only about 15. But you get the point. Uh I always think, why don't people make those skull caps that the skateboarders and the Muslims wear? They should use more cotton for those, because they all come from places that have a lot of heat, and cotton absorbs. Granted, the inside might be a little bit snarky after a while, but that's what they make OxyClean for. And cotton has a different kind of forgiveness built into it, or chemically compared to wool, as I was saying. You use different chemicals to make it absorb color than wool. Wool just absorbs everything no matter what, but I think if you want to alter the color, you gotta soak cotton, I believe, in a salt-based solution. So just knowing little stuff like that can make your use of it and your playfulness with it easier and more fluid, and truly letting it be about just having fun with a fiber, and not because it doesn't act the same. It's like you got your kids, they're not the same. Joey isn't Mikey, Mikey's not Joey, but they're both your kids. That doesn't matter. They're not the same. And truly educating yourself on those differences will make life so much easier. Like I said, it's only in recent times they started to make cotton thicker or more sport weight. Normally it was lace or knit on big machines with very, very thin thread. I mean, the word cotton thread, very common, always throughout history. But cotton yarn, not so much. At least not until macrame became a more socially accepted thing. Or embroidery, maybe. Because they did use slightly thicker threads for embroidery, but embroidery, I think, has been taken over by polyester for the most part. Let's see what else. The cat's going crazy. But yeah, just think about it for any type of tank top, t-shirt, because you can get some good ruffle out of it. It doesn't all hang super heavy. Or just change how the ruffles are applied so that you can still have them. They just won't be poofy as good like acrylic can be. I love my first pair of socks I made with cotton, and it was a chunky cotton. Save the world, recycle some sweaters. They're probably cheaper than regular crochet cotton. Seriously, pound for pound, it's the cheapest way to go. You can always over dye it. It does absorb color if you do it right. Do it wrong, you'll know it. Like I said, bandanas, any kind of home accessories, pillows, plant holders, market bags, washcloths, face scrubbies, uh, soap holders for soap on a rope. Or I used my little I-cord maker, drilled a hole through some soap, and I made soap on a rope, and it was cotton. Granted, it was a joke gift, but still, it's what's possible. Other than that, I mean, it does split. Cotton, even though it's well twisted, can split on you, especially the thicker it gets. That's just a fact. As long as you know it's there, learn to deal with it. It is what it is, what it is. It doesn't have the cohesiveness of wool. It will not felt. When it hits hot water, it might shrink a little, but beyond some minor shrinkage, once it shrunk, it shrunk. That's why you have the word mercerized. If it's mercerized, it's not changing size on you, at least not drastically anytime soon. So, but yeah, if y'all like the content, like, share, subscribe, so leave me a comment. I watch all that stuff. I know this is a live stream. I haven't gone live in a really long time, but I figured if YouTube says I should talk about it, hey, why not? It's for people who are afraid of things that they don't know about. Otherwise, I don't really necessarily understand fear in crafting. All you gotta do is not tell anybody you flunked on it. So just keep the joy in your heart and experiment, try new things. It's important. It brings joy to your life. It makes it worth living almost. All right, I got a kitty who's going crazy and a hubby who won't stop texting me because another kitty went to the doctor's today and she got fixed. So gotta make sure she doesn't rip out all the stitches. Have a good one, y'all. Like, share, subscribe.